Hello friends, welcome to Programming Knowledge. My name is Prijan and today we start with our project based series where we create a tech news application from React Native. So today we trying to build this custom component that you see over here. So first of all we need to create an expo manage project. So open command prompt or terminal if you are using Mac and just type expo init and name of your project. Let me type YouTube Tech News app and press enter. Here we need to select a template. For this particular project, we will select a blank JavaScript project. Okay, so our project is successfully created. Let me just close this, and you need to open this project and any text editor or IDE of your choice. I'm going to use WebStorm, but you can use Visual Studio Code. Let me just open this. Okay, so our project is loaded. As you can see, we have our asset folder, we have our app.js file which will run first when we start our app. So go to the terminal, and first of all we need to start our project so that we can preview our application in an simulator. So you just need to write npm and then start and then press enter. While it's opening, let me just show you the screenshot for the app that we are going to build. So if you see here, we have this custom component. It's your approach should be, you first need to find the custom component that you can build. So if you find any repetition in components, so we can create a custom component out of it and the data will change accordingly. So first of all we need to create this card component. So open your IDE or text editor. Let me just recite it. Okay, so first of all this is our home screen. In this application we have two screens, the home screen and the search screen. So first of all let us create a screen folder. Screens. In our screen folder, let us create our home screen. Home screen.js. Okay, so here we are. First of all, we need to import React from React. Then we need to import view component from React Native. Then const home screen. Here we will return a view component. We also need to create a style sheet. So just import style sheet, style sheet dot create. Let's say container. Okay, as you can see, our app is running now. Let me just import a text component also. And provide a text and write home screen. We can also provide style over here. Let me just save this, and we can call this home screen over here. Yeah, instead of this, we can write home screen. Here we need to export it first. Export the full home screen. Let me just save this. We can write it again. Let me save this. As you can see, we have our home screen over here. Remove the styling without need it here. Here our content is going out of our reach, so we can just use safe area view instead of normal view. Need to import this from React Native. Let me just save this and we are good to go. So first of all, we need to create this custom component. So for that, we will create a new folder called component. Here we will create a new file. Let's say article.js. Let me just copy this, provide it over here. Let me just change this to article. Let me just save this. And under the home screen, we can use that component article. Let me save this. As you can see, we have our article component over here. So let us see what we need here. So first of all, we need a image. So for that, we need to import image component from React Native. It will take a source. Here we need to specify the URI. So let me just go to the browser and go to the Unsplash. Here you can search for any image. Let me write tech. Okay, let me grab this one. Image address. We can provide it over here. Now if we save this, you don't see any image over here because we haven't provided any styling. So let's say image, height, let's say 200, width is let's say 100%. Here we need to provide style. Let me say this. As you can see, we have our image over here. If we see our app, we have a margin over here. So for that, let me just provide a width, let's say 90%, and we can write align self to center. Okay, we have our image center over here. We have these round corners if you see, but let us first design these text components. So after this is the image. Now we need to create title. For that we will be using a text component. Title will be, let's say, tech news application using React. Let me just save this. We have our title over here. Let's provide some styling. Styles dot, let's say title. Let's create a title. Let's apply font size of 18. Let's also apply some font weight, 600 maybe. Okay, it looks good. We need to apply some margin on the top. Okay. Okay, we are good for now. Then the description. We have our description over here. Let's say text. Here, let's say you are. We are using these hard-coded dummy data as of now because we haven't integrated our API. In the tutorial, programming knowledge to channel. Let me just save this. Let me just copy this again. Okay, so here we can provide style. Style dot description. Let's copy this. Let's apply font size. Let's say 15. Let's increase it to 16. Let's apply font weight to 400, 500. Okay, 400 is good. Let's also apply some margin on the top, 10. Okay. After that we have this column, and as you can see over here, this row is this two text are in the same line. So for that we need to create a component for that. Okay, let's create a view component first. And for the style we can use author and date. We can simply use the data. Okay, so first of all we have this text. Let's create this text. If you see here, these buy and this digital desk, these two text has different styles. So for that we create a text component inside a text component. You can do that in React Native. So here we can provide style to, let's say, heading. Here we can provide style dot, let's say, value. And let's type my name. Let me just save this. As you can see, we have our text over here. Let's create this text right over here. This is a date. We'll be using a library called moment.js to customize this date over here. But for right now, I just provide a hard-coded value. Let's say August 9, 22. Let me just save this. First of all, let us create all this styling. Data, heading, value, and also here date. Let me just save this. Okay, now let's provide styling. First of all, the data is the whole container. So let's provide flex direction to row. Now as you can see, our two text components are in the same line. Let's provide justify content to space between, so that they can justify themselves at the end of the screen, as you can see. Okay, so now let's provide some margin top. Let's set 10. Now let us also provide the styling for the author. It's this value. Let me change it to actually author. Okay, we just need to provide font weight. Okay, we are good. Let's provide bold also over here. Date. Set font weight to bold. Okay, let me just go to the other website. You can come to this website colors.co and you can find colors from here for your project. Let's select any color. Let's say this one. Let's provide this over here. As you can see, our color is changed. Okay, so let's create a source. Let's say programming knowledge. Here we can provide style. Node source. Let's create this style. First of all, margin top of, let's say, 10. Okay, so we have two component over here. Let's wrap it in a view component. Here we can provide the styling. Let's provide inline styling because we only need the margin for this. And here we can provide the color. First of all, let's provide the same color. Let's make it bold. Let's also increase the size. Okay, let's also increase size over here. 15. Let's just copy this. Okay, so now what we have left is we have this rounded corner, and we also can provide some padding around these. Okay, so for that, let me just wrap these into a view component. Wrap this entire part right from starting from here and ending here, and we can apply some padding. Set 10. Okay, we are good. Now let's apply border radius. Border top left radius. Let's say 20. Okay, we can increase that value. Let's say 30. Okay, 40 is good. Let's also apply border top right radius. 40. Okay, so it's starting to look something like this. Now we can provide these shadows over here. For that, let's say shadow opacity 0.5, shadow color, let's say black, shadow offset. Here we need to provide the offset for the height, let's say 5, width 5. Let's also apply background color to this component, that will be white. Okay, so we are starting to see these shadows over here. Let me increase the padding. Let's say 20. So if you see this side by side, okay, it's looking good. So now we have completed our first custom component. So now that we have completed our component, you can come to the home.js and let me just show you what you can do with this custom component. You can paste it over here multiple times. If you press this, let me apply some margin to the container. Set 20. Okay, here let me just change this to scroll view. For now we need to import scroll view from React Native. Let me remove this style. Let me save this. As you can see, we are rendering multiple component of that we have just created. I have created this scroll view just to show how it will look, but in our next videos we will use flat list and we will also use dynamic data. So we will render the same component but the data will change. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching it.